Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim from DIY Dream Weddings UK, and today I thought we'd do the same sort of style of wedding bouquet as the one we did before, but with different materials. So let me show you what we did before. We've done this lovely sequin wedding bouquet. Okay, and I've obviously got to still do the edge of that, but I think I'm really quite pleased with how that turned out. Okay, so if you want to have a look, go back and have a look, you can go back and have a look and see how this was made. Okay, I'd just like to say hi to everyone, and I hope they're all right and everything. So yeah, I've had a good funny few weeks, but we're getting there. So basically what you need for this project is you need a plastic bowl, some thin cardboard. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut around this bowl, just so, because I don't want this bit sticking up, because we're going to use this for our holder. Okay, so I'm just roughly going to cut around here, and this round piece I cut out was for a bigger bowl, but it wasn't stuck on properly, so what I thought I might do is use the same piece of card for this project, you know, so then I don't have to work out the hole or anything. So I've done the hole there, so that's what you've got. So what you want to do now is just stick that onto your, actually the best way of doing this is to put the glue around this bit here. This is hot glue that I'm using, by the way, people. Okay, so if you want to, if you're interested in making your wedding bouquet from absolute scratch, then you're in the right place, especially if you like different, there we go, I just wanted an edge on there, different kind of wedding bouquets. Oh, that caught my finger there, it's a bit hot. Okay, so just sticking that on there, and then what I'm going to do is, so I've had a bit of a busy morning of it, and my husband is back in about about an hour or so, I think. So I really wanted to get this video done, you know. So I'm going to cut the outside of that cardboard off. And what you're going to do here is we're going to put the handle in the middle here. And if you aren't new to this channel, then you'll know I've done this for the last project and for some other older ones as well. So I thought we'd just revisit this again. So I'm just going to cut this round like this with my scissors. Okay, I'm not going to cut all of this edge piece off, because if I do that, then it makes the bowl really weak and flimsy. So this kind of holds it together a bit, this edge piece. Okay, so just cutting this around like this. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, I've been doing a few things to try and get back into work, which is why I haven't been back as much. I'm sorry that I haven't, if you're waiting for my videos, but I'll always come back, and if I'm not going to, I'll let you know. All right, and I'm sure that will never be the case, because I really love doing these videos. Okay, so I had a choice of different materials, but I've decided to maybe do something with this, which I really love this material. I really love it, and you would have seen it on one of the other videos. If you have a look on the buys, I think it's the buys playlist, you can see this material. Okay, so you can see you've got your ladies on here with their long dresses and your buildings and everything, and I thought we could do something with this and perhaps ribbon the bouquet up. Perhaps, see, I'm not sure, you see, whether to ribbon. What I thought we'd do is ribbon the front, the bit where you put the flowers on, this piece here, and then on the back we put the material on. So I think that'd be easier to cut out than it would doing it the other way around, as you probably might have noticed when I did the sequin wedding bouquet. And perhaps put these sort of flowers on the front. So it's a different kind of colour combination. Okay, and the flowers are all made up. If you have a look back on, I'll explain, there's another video on here where I actually made these flowers up, I think, but I'll have a look back for you and see if there is, because I did make these up a few times in some of my videos. or it might be in Facebook, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I might show you in this one anyway. So just all we're going to do is put the handle through there. But before we do that, what I thought we'd do, rather than put the handle in now, is we would ribbon the front piece. Okay, I'm not sure how we're going to put this material on. We might cut it into a circle, maybe cut it into a circle and stick it on. Okay, that's probably what we'll do. And I don't know how much of this, I haven't looked properly, so I'm not sure how much of these pictures we'll get on here. I like these ladies, I think they're lovely, but you're going to have your handle in the middle of whatever we put on here. Okay, so you've got to be careful where you place your pictures. So you've got the ships here as well, so you could have the boats, so you can only have a little bit of each one on here. So it all depends how big your bouquet is as to how much of this you're going to have on the back. Okay, so it's silly having it on the front because you're going to cover it up with flowers. Okay, so I'm going to do this front piece with ribbon. I'm going to get my ribbon handles, red for ribbon, and cut that. And we're going to ribbon the front piece of this, the front bit of this bouquet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I've got a little tea light here, and I just put the flame on the edge here to seal the end. That's it. I couldn't think of the word seal, but that's what it is. So really with this, I've got a little bit of glue on there. This needs to be quite flat so that you can ribbon over the top. So we're going to bring our ribbon around, and I'm going to stop somewhere here because we're going to put our material on. Okay, so if I measure, this is how I measure my ribbon. I just put it on the front, and then I bring it round, and then I work out where I want that to be cut. So about there, and seal the other end. Okay, and then what I do is I will keep this piece, and I will measure every other piece with the same length. Okay, and then we know it's all going to be the same length. Okay, so this is going to be quite a simple project, not like the one we did before, because that's quite long-winded, and I still haven't finished that bouquet yet. I still got to do some some more sequins on that. So yeah, so just keep one of the lengths of your ribbon aside so you can measure how long you want your piece of ribbon to be. And yeah, so that's what I do. I just seal one end with my tea light, measure it, cut that, and then seal the other end. And that's how it works. Okay, so we're gonna, I normally do quite a lot. I think it's about 25, but this is quite a small holder, so it might need a bit less than that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our ribbon, and I'm going to do it on the top of my bouquet, and I'm going to just put some glue on the top there, and there we go, put my ribbon on. Okay, I'm going to keep one, and I've got that there, I've got the one, keep one aside so you know what the length is going to be. Okay, and then you just basically just going to bring your ribbon down where you want that to be. Okay, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do about the material because it'll probably fray a little bit. So I mean, I'm thinking now perhaps I should have brought this. It's getting the edges tidy really, isn't it? I'm not sure how you conceal a piece of material for the back, so that's going to be, because I've only ever used felt and things like that, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I haven't sealed that. I like to seal it because you don't want it fraying. You don't want it fraying everywhere, okay? So, I made a mess there now. So, just putting your ribbon on and overlapping it as you go round. Okay, that's a little bit short. Make sure you've got enough to go round over the edge, okay? It might be that as you position your ribbon, you might have less around the edge to do with how far you've brought that towards the top of the bouquet, so, or the bouquet holder. Holder or handle, what do we call it, girls? Holder or handle? Right, okay, so that is, so we just keep going. So I'm not used to doing it this way. I think I normally do it from the, anyway, this is how we're going to do it. So just keep going round. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bit messy, because you're going to cover it up with your flowers. There's always a way of covering these things up, there really is. So it's just really, you just don't want to see this bowl. You don't want to see whatever's underneath, okay? That's why we're putting this on, this ribbon on, just to cover this bowl up, or whatever you're going to use for that holder. You don't want to see that, okay? So it's better if you cut off this bulk. Don't worry too much if you cut that off and it frays, because you'll cover that with a material, okay? So we're just keeping going with that. I'll just cut another piece off. Like that. So we'll see how this gut goes. This is just like a last minute kind of project thing that I thought we could do. Sometimes I change my mind on things halfway through the project, which is what the description says on this video, and that's probably because I find other things that I feel are a bit more, you know, that might fit with the project a bit better, or the design isn't working the way I want it to, so I'll change how it's done. So yeah, sorry if I'm rambling a bit. It's been a funny few days. Okay, so we're just trying to make that look as neat as we can around the edge, so that we cover all this bit up. So you could just use a piece of felt or something, but I think this is easier than trying to use material. From the last project I did, I really do think, and as you can see by doing this, what we're doing also is we're strengthening the edge of this and basically keeping it all together. So that's what you want to do. You want to go all the way round, and sometimes what happens is you get round and there's a gap, but don't worry, just overlap it and just fill it in, because like I said, you're just going to be sticking your flowers or whatever you're going to be sticking on here on the front to make it look pretty. And actually originally I had an idea to do a keepsake wedding bouquet, but I never got around to preparing it because I've been to so much things, so many new things at the moment. I just haven't had time. So it might be that I might be able to change this up a bit and perhaps put something different on the front. But for now, what we're going to be doing is, like I said, we're just going to be ribboning this up. And I wouldn't put the handle on until you put the material on the back, because it's just easier to decorate it this way without the handle on, I think. Okay, if you were going to you might decide you want to bring this ribbon all the way to the handle, which is fine. I've done that a lot of times. This is a bit different to what I normally do, because I normally will bring it round right up to the handle. Okay, with some of my other bouquets, you might have seen that in some of my other videos. Okay, but that's what we're going to be doing for this one. Okay, so I think that's about it. And make sure the ends of your ribbon are stuck down, because you don't want them coming away. Okay, right, so yeah, it might even be nice just to put some white flowers on here. So there we are. I haven't quite decided what I'm putting on it, but that was I really wanted to use that material, so we'll see. Okay, so you can see how that's coming along, and what we're going to be doing there. So we're going to be putting the handle in the back here. I know it wasn't a very long video. I think it's about 15 minutes long, unless of course I go back and have a little play and edit some of this out. But yeah, so let me know what you think about the beginning of this project. This handle is about 15 centimetres, but to be honest with you, it doesn't need to be that long. I was going to stick it on a bigger bowl, so you can use one of these plastic bowls as well, but I changed it. So I would take a little bit more off there, but it's nice to have a little bit of length when you push that in there to glue it down. Okay, there we are. So yeah, I will see you in the next one, everybody. Do take care, and thanks for all those new subscribers that have come on to see what's happening here. I hope you get some inspiration for your wedding day. I really do. So yeah, everybody take care now, and don't forget to press a like and comment below. And if you're not a subscriber, do subscribe to this channel, because it helps it to grow, and you can also see get notified when more videos come up just like this one. Okay then, bye bye for now.